If you've been in the NFT market for a while, I'm sure there has been a moment in time in which you have thought, oh my goodness, this is all a scam. I got to get out right now. Well, today's video, folks, I hope to show you guys a few projects that I truly think are pretty good. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a rough time for a lot of NFTs out there, but there are some gems still on Solana that I really think you guys might like. These are projects that at the particular moment I have used some data from, given the 30-day volume and a few other things to come to this decision. So if you guys are new, you know what to do. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel, guys, for more NFT stuff, and let's get right into it. So the first thing, obviously, and I think probably one of the most major things that we have to consider is 30-day volume, because if a project is dead, unfortunately the odds of it just coming back from the grave after having no volume at all is very tough. So if I were you and you were trying to find a project that is, at least in some capacity a good choice, try to find something, at least in my opinion, that sits maybe in the top 100 or top 150 for monthly volume, because anything lower than that, unfortunately, doesn't look like there's enough people interested. Period. And as much as I hate to say that, there are a lot of great projects out there that just don't have the momentum, that don't have the movement that they might need for the future. And again, a lot of these on this list are not bad projects by any means, and very well could be worth something one day, and one day might be a good buy, but just aren't showing any momentum right now. So with that said, guys, let's get into the project. So the first thing I want to talk about, of course, is my Patreon, guys, before we get there. So link down below in the description, guys, if you would like to take your NFT game truly to the next level, guys. We have a ton of awesome whitelist access over there that I have my moderators running all the time. So if you want to try to get on some whitelists, you know what to do. The Patreon down below is the place, as well as NFT buy and sell alerts. So every single time I buy or sell an NFT, you guys will know. NFT whitelist, of course, like I mentioned, my crypto newsletter, weekly NFT audio crypto report, crypto trade signals every time I buy or sell a crypto or an NFT, you guys will know. Private Discord access to my Patreon only chats, direct access to me via DM if you want me to help you start your journey, have some questions. Of course, you always can ask me via the Patreon DM, and a free altcoin checklist if you want to get started trading altcoins. So tons of awesome stuff here on the Patreon, guys. Link down below in the description. So the first project I want to show you guys in today's video is something called Soulbook Sportsbook. Now this, at least in my view, is an example of a relatively mid-tier project that I do think is pretty much quality enough to make a good venture in. So the first thing you guys will notice, and obviously one of the more important things you'll notice, is that Soulbook Sportsbook has only 42 listed out of a supply of 1,000. That is very, very good. That is definitely less listed in terms of percentage-wise than a lot of other massive projects out there. And if you take a look at DGods being a golden type of ratio with a 10K collection that at any given time, has maybe 200-300 listed, even on a bad day, that is a very good ratio. And Soulbook Sportsbook also has a good ratio with 42 listed here out of 999. So all of these here give you some level of the profits these guys are getting. So 50% of their profit distributed weekly to holders. So definitely looks to have been around for a while, and definitely looks like one of the better options in sort of the sports betting ecosystem. And of course, you could take a look at their Twitter here and kind of get just an idea of what these guys all are about, their website, yada yada. Looks like these guys are doing a pretty good job. So that is Soulbook Sportsbook. Now, the next project I wanted to talk about here is Fruits, which in my view, as a lower sort of floor price project, looks to have a pretty strong community. And obviously for a project like this that, let's be honest, guys, is mostly a profile picture type project, having a very strong community and a strong Twitter base is obviously a very good idea, because in terms of listings, this ratio isn't lovely. In terms of, the overall volume, it's good, but there are, really no reason from a technical perspective to ape into this. So these types of projects really rely on intuition and just kind of seeing how the community feels. So this is their Twitter, 26,000 followers. Looks as if these guys are trying to keep up to date and, try to continue to improve their project and improve their brand. There are a lot of people who are still, tweeting about them. Here they are collaborating with Hyperspace, which is a very, very large sort of Solana, ecosystem out there, accelerator. And then you have people, rocking this as their profile picture. So just a few signs that you want to see. There are, again, a lot of people that are rocking this as their profile pick, and that, definitely is a good sign as well, especially with something that has such a low floor like this. So a couple of good indicators from here, from fruits. I did hold these for a while, made a little bit of a flip on them, and I did recently sell a couple just because I wanted to kind of consolidate more Solana. But if I were to ape back into a project, these guys definitely aren't a bad idea at all. Now, the next project I wanted to show you guys in today's video is OK Bears. We all know OK Bears are a giant project, but folks, with a floor of only 62 right now, that's really freaking good. And the reason why I say that is not because 62 Solana is affordable. In fact, it's kind of a lot. But the reason why I think OK Bears is sitting good at this floor is because they almost always pump past 100. And this is a project that I'm very much considering buying right now, because when we take a look at the actual activity, the volume here is staying pretty consistent. It's not super high or anything, but it's staying pretty consistent. And again, if you were to kind of look at the overall floor price over time, minus this really funky graph that Magic Eden has given me here, you guys can see that over time they do constantly try to push at least the 80s. Very much, you could say, the 100 mark. And if we are to change the hour in which we are looking, here is all the way back in April. That is when these guys first started, surged up to a floor of 250, but have a lot of rallies. Here's an example of one rally here up to 125. Another rally here recently up to 80. Another rally here recently up to, 73. Another rally again up to around 80. So they always have these little rallies. And if you were to try to maximize the amount you could make, well, hey, buy now at 62, list at 80, boom. There's a very high chance at some point in your lifetime, OK Bears is going to head back to 80. And that's kind of something that I look for in a project like this that definitely has achieved what you would say is blue chip status, but definitely does have the possibility of having these little runs. And it seems like there are a lot of instances in which OK Bears does that. Now, I don't need to talk about their community because you guys know it's pretty strong. Their Twitter here is very, very powerful. A lot of people still repping OK Bears, of course, as their profile picture. It at one point was thought that this would overturn DeGods. Does not look like that happened, of course, but these guys, again, are still really killing it on Twitter, and for a price of 62, it seems like a good entry, at least in my opinion, to a blue chip like this. Now, the next project I wanted to show you guys in today's video is Soul Gods. So what I like about these guys is in terms of their listings, very few listed. They also have this large collection of projects called The Fracture, which are all different types of profile picture projects out there that all, do pretty well, it would seem. But Soul Gods is kind of their OG collection. In terms of the artwork, it is obviously very quality and one of the very few NFT projects out there that I really think does stand on its own in terms of artwork. So, community aside, these guys are really cool. And, the amount listed is obviously very good in relation to their total supply. And of course, if we are to take a look from a sort of technical analysis perspective at what these guys have done over time, you guys see they span all the way back, at least on this graph here, very far back, even past April. They've been around a while. Here they are, having launched in like early January. And you can see they climb all the way up at one point to around 70. And since then, they haven't really done much. They end up, kind of slumping here right around the 10 mark. But then take a look at this. Late August, we get a massive uptick in floor price here, going from like 9 all the way up to like 20 in the matter of a couple of days. And it looks as if there has been a level of support established. There has been a sort of baseline here that has been established that doesn't look like it is going to fall through anytime soon. So I would say for the past, give or take 2 or 3 weeks here, Soul Gods have sat above 18. And that's really good given the fact they had this rapid bump from 9 up to 18, basically doubling in value over one day. So these guys are doing very good from a technical analysis perspective. There's no reason to doubt them. And again, I like the artwork. You can check their Twitter. Their community here is pretty strong. They have a lot going on with the Fracture here. New website came out in late July. Very nice looking. And still a lot of people here are invested in them. So definitely not a bad option here with the Fracture. And of course, guys, the final project I wanted to talk to you guys about is going to be Utes, folks. There is 256 listed out of 15,000. That is bonkers. Now, obviously, there are some people who didn't claim their Ute yet, but most people did. If you owned a DeGod, it is very likely you claimed your Ute. And I mean, a floor of 122, that is, very high, obviously, but This is access to the DeGods ecosystem, guys. That's pretty big. And if you compare that, obviously, to the price of DeGods, it is basically 1/3 the price of DeGods right now. And, you know, these guys are absolutely huge. I would say probably the best NFT out there. I think most people would agree. And then when we obviously look at Utes, this is a lot more feasible, a lot more attainable way to enter the DeGods ecosystem. They have a giant Twitter. You guys know their community here is ridiculous, 100,000 plus followers. Very innovative with the Utes list, where people were gaining whitelist access. They are, at least it looks like in the near future here, going to have some kind of reveal. Frank DeGods recently made a post talking about this. So there's just a ton going on with these guys. And while the floor may, you know, drop a tiny bit more maybe after reveal, I think it's a very good chance right now, at least, to gain entry into the DeGods ecosystem because, again, it looks really to be one of the best NFT ecosystems out there. I would put it on par with the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem. So definitely a great option, at least in my opinion, to enter what these guys have created. So that being said, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you guys did, you know what to do. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Again, check out the Patreon, guys, down below in the description for tons of awesome stuff. That being said, my name is Matt. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.